Over the last couple of weeks, Trump and his team have dropped a bombshell on Section 8. And whether you're a landlord or a real estate investor, you need to understand how this could shake up your entire business in 2026. So in this video, I'm going to break down what's changing, how it might hurt real estate investors, how it might help real estate investors, and what you should do now. If you don't know who I am, my name is Antoine Martel. I've bought and sold 1,500 single-family houses in the last decade, and now I'm partnering with investors like you to buy apartment buildings across the country. So let's first get started with what's changing, right? So Trump's 2026 budget proposal cuts HUD funding by $26 billion, which is a 43% cut, okay? Now, what does this mean? It means that Section 8 would shift from a federally managed to a state-controlled block of grants. So pretty much instead of the federal government giving out this money every single year to tenants who need it in order to pay rent, which is also called HUD, then they're going to give that money to the states, and the states are going to kind of figure it out and figure out the funding. But because of that, the government is saying they're going to cut their budget by 43%. So, if they used to give out $10, now they're only going to be giving away $6. But those $6 are going to go to the state, and then the state is going to disperse of that money, plus probably come up with its own programs, which we'll get into a little bit later, about how to give that money to the tenants who need it, who are on HUD or on Section 8 and can't afford a living wage. Now, if you don't know what Section 8 is, Section 8 is pretty much government-backed housing, or it used to be government-backed housing. Now it's going to kind of transition over to the state level, so it's going to be state-backed housing. They're still going to get a ton of money. 60% of their funding is still going to come from the federal government, but the states are going to have to kind of step up to the plate here to kind of fill that gap or make some changes. This means that the states get to decide how much housing aid to offer and to whom, all right? Now, how might it hurt investors, right? Obviously, if there's less money and less budget coming from the federal government, what's going to happen to real estate investors? So obviously, there's probably going to be less guaranteed rent, right? Fewer vouchers could lead to lower demand for voucher tenants. There also could just be less people applying for vouchers because they're so hard to get. There's already a huge wait list of people that are looking to get Section 8 housing vouchers that can't even get them right now. And now with this slash in funding and moving to the state level, it might be even harder for people to go out there and apply for Section 8 rental housing. All right. Now, the other way that this could hurt investors is that there could be uneven rules, right? So investors in multiple markets might face different Section 8 rules in every single state that they're investing in, right? So you could be investing in a red state that maybe doesn't do anything about the Section 8 vouchers, and you could be investing in a blue state that wants to really take care of its tenant. They're dedicating a lot of money, like a California that gets hit with this. I guarantee you a California, very blue state is going to come in. They're going to come up with their own state funded programs. They're going to take all the federal dollars that they're getting and really try to take care of people within the state. And then you have a red state that maybe goes the other direction. Maybe they're like, yeah, screw that. If you can't afford to live here, move to another state. Who knows what's going to happen, right? So if you are a real estate investor like myself, investing across many different metropolitan areas, many different states, you're going to want to keep a keen eye on what's going on in those different states. What are they putting together? What packages are they putting together? How are they taking care of their tenants? All that kind of stuff. You might notice longer vacancies, especially in states that cut back, and you could have longer turnover and less rent reliability. Okay. So if the states do cut back, it could just take a lot longer for the Section 8 tenants to move into the property. It could be less people applying with Section 8 vouchers to live on that property as well. So you might notice some longer turnover and less rental reliability if you're solely dedicated on the Section 8 program. However, those are all maybes, okay? There's a couple of ways that this actually could help real estate investors and could make it really a great time to go out there and buy rental housing and rent it on Section 8 or not. Okay. So there could be some opportunities in red states, right? So these are going to be pro-business states that may offer incentives or new housing programs to fill the gap. And I think the same argument could be made for the blue states as well. I think red states could offer that, but also the pro-tenant states, I think, could even have more of an impact. So some of those states that you maybe didn't want to invest in, but now they have amazing federal-backed programs, and they've loosened up on their landlord-tenant laws. Who knows? Maybe those could be some good states to invest in. I'm just thinking about Illinois, Michigan, that are kind of 50-50 states, swing states. Those could be some amazing places to be investing in right now, because not only are they not too bad for evicting tenants, but they also are kind of blue in a sense. They like to take care of their tenants and the people that need this low income housing. All right, you might notice more market rate tenants. So with fewer voucher restrictions, you might charge full market rent without the Section 8 limits. So what that means is that if you are a real estate investor, you might be able to go and first of all get higher rent just by going to market rate tenants instead of Section 8 tenants. So it could kind of even the level, like even the playing field. What I mean by that is that we've noticed over the last couple of years, you can sometimes get more rent on Section 8. But if this whole plan does come into effect, we might be able to get a higher increase in rent and more people maybe coming off the Section 8 program, just going market rate tenants that maybe do make enough money, or they're, gypping the system and they're in the Section 8 program and they really shouldn't be. There could be this pullback of Section 8 funding, but maybe just for people who make over 50 grand a year, that they can actually afford a place to live, but they're on Section 8 taking up a slot that they really should be, if that makes sense. So you might notice, and what I'm saying is that you might notice that the people who are on Section 8 that shouldn't be on Section 8 actually start going and become market rate tenants and then become good market rate tenants because they just got kicked off the program. So you might notice this transition from a ton of Section 8 tenants over to a ton of market rate tenants if they do that correctly. Again, it's going to be up to the states on what they decide and how they decide to go ahead and do that. Some states may also invite private developers to solve the housing gap. Now, I think this is going to be really, really prevalent in probably some red states that are out there that want some private developers help, want to involve the real estate investing community to kind of help the situation solve this issue. It could make some blue states kind of switch a little bit and really open it up to real estate investors. Just think of blue states. You have rent cap growth, all this kind of stuff. There's rent control. There's all these kinds of things that kind of impede real estate investors. But hell, they might need some low income housing and they might do tax credits for low income housing. They might do guaranteed Section 8 rents for low income housing because this is all in the state level now. It's not like a federal government program we have to go through anymore. It's going to be a very nimble, is what I'm hoping for, a very nimble program that is going to be run by every single state department. And this is going to really flood some investors to certain states that are doing it well and really eliminate a lot of investors from states that are doing it in a poor way. All right. What do I think you should do now? There's a couple things, 4 different things that I think you should do now. Number 1, double down on local market research, right? This is going to vary state by state. And I want you to do your research on every single state, what they're doing with this. If this happens, if this actually goes through and the new Section 8 plan actually goes through, which again, I think it's unlikely, but hell, if it does go through, there is going to be a lot of research you're going to want to do on a state by state level. All right. Next thing, reassess your buy box. Focus on markets that are landlord friendly and likely to continue supporting housing aid. Again, I think this could be landlord friendly and tenant friendly states. To be honest, I think both the states is kind of like an open playing field on which one is going to really double down and which one's going to work. Shit, we could see a Michigan come out with we're filling up the full budget, so it's going to be nothing changed. And then people from other states start moving to Michigan just because they get the 100% housing funded and all that kind of stuff. They can keep on their program. It actually might move some people into different states because of that reason. All right. Third, monitor legislation. There's a ton of this stuff changing every single week. So just make sure to stay up with the news or watch videos like this to make sure you know what's going on with these programs. Again, there's been a lot of social media out there saying that these programs are already locked in and stuff like that. They're not. These are all proposed things that we're just talking about. Number 4, multiple exit strategies. Please don't buy something where you only have one exit strategy and that only strategy is Section 8 tenants. Okay. And I know I make a lot of Section 8 videos here, but if you're acquiring properties or long-term holds or fix and flips, just make sure you have multiple exit strategies with all this crazy stuff that's going on since January 1st, 2025. Who knows what's going to happen next? So just make sure you have multiple ways of getting out the deals that you're getting into. Cool. With that, thanks so much for staying till the end of the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.